Right, hello there and welcome to Edinburgh Waverley Station. We are going to do a little rail tour from Edinburgh Waverley to Glenrothes and so forth. It's going to take about 45 minutes. And if you're wondering what we're driving a pacer because I am I'm a walking, because I'm a sadist, I'm an absolute sadist. Now, believe it or not, the last ever pacer service has just gone by, and we've never actually had pacers in Scotland, I don't think. We were quite lucky in that respect. But we're driving a pacer along the Fife line, and the reason why I'm doing this is because it's got nice clear view, so I can point out things along the line, and it's also quite nimble as a locomotive, so we can speed up quite quickly. Now we're leaving Edinburgh Waverley. Edinburgh Waverley used to be 3 stations. There used to be an Edinburgh Glasgow station, there used to be a North British station, and there used to be an Edinburgh Leith and Newhaven station. The latter, by the way, is responsible for Scotland Street Tunnel. Now we're going through the middle tunnel here of the Mound tunnels. Now, the middle tunnel is quite interesting. If you actually look at pictures before they sort of expanded the railway a bit to increase capacity, the tunnel mouth, at this end at least, had a beautiful sort of sloping sort of tunnel mouth that looked absolutely gorgeous. And you'll see some photos of this area from the period, and you think, wow, it actually looks quite modern. If you see like the mock-up for high-speed, HS2, you'll notice that all the tunnels have that sort of curved, sort of tunnel mouth. We're going through Princess Street, or Prince Street Gardens right now. Just to our right there was a sickle box. Pardon me. Now I'm doing this totally off the hoof, so forgive all my ums and ahs. But we're just about to enter into the Haymarket tunnels. Now, the Haymarket tunnel on our left, the one that we're entering into, is actually much older than the Haymarket tunnel on our right. Originally, there was only one Haymarket tunnel. And as things expanded, they needed to increase capacity along this bit of line. So they basically had to build a second Haymarket tunnel. Now, Haymarket Station was actually much smaller back then. If you actually look at old maps, Haymarket Station, see what I mean. And it did actually have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 platforms originally. Now, originally it was the terminus of the Edinburgh to Glasgow Railway, what we now know today as Glasgow Queen Street Line. And if you actually look at old maps, you'll see that alongside sort of through platforms, originally it had on its north side a sort of big, massive train shed with platforms, and I think that existed right up until the 1960s. So we're going through Haymarket Station now. Nicely updated. I actually quite like Haymarket Station. They sort of did modernisation right. The one thing I do like about modern architecture, love it or hate it, is that it uses a lot of glass, so it's nice and airy, it's nice and bright, and it's better than brutalism, Brutalism is hard to pull off and get it right, but, the modern architecture, on the new Haymarket Station looks quite nice. Now, we're just about approaching the site of an old overbridge. Now, round about here, there used to be another railway line that went over this line. That was the Caledonian Railways line to Leith. Now, I've done plenty of videos on the stations along that line, and there is no train simulator route for that. I wish there was, because I would play that, until my computer wears out. Pardon me, until my computer wears out. And yeah, so we're going along here. To our right, I believe, is junction with Suburban Railway. Now, we are just about to come up to a disappearing station, or not so much a disappearing station, but a reappearing station. Now, you see on our right, you see the tram line, not exactly accurately portrayed with its mainline cell canteries, but you'll notice ball green tram stop there. Ball green tram stop at one point was a railway station. That's right, it was a railway station on the Glenrothes branch that led to the second Glenrothes station. And we are going to go up, just about to pass the first Glenrothes station, also known as Saughton station, just after the tram overpass. Now I'm just going to very quickly go over the story of that station. It was the first ever railway station I did for disappearing stations. After I did the video, I found pictures of Saughton station. I'll probably dig it out and show it to you, but yeah, we're just here. Roundabout here is where Saughton station is, or was, and you can probably click on the link up in the corner and it will take you to the video, and it was the first ever video I did on this channel. So we're now joining the Fife line. To our right, well, to our right was the Glasgow line, and we are now on the approach to South Gyle station. Now, South Gyle station is actually my local station, or one of my local stations rather, because I now have two local stations within walking distance: South Gyle and Edinburgh Gateway. Now, funny thing happened. South Gyle station opened when my grandfather retired, and he worked for BR back then, and he was quite annoyed because it was like announced when he retired, and he thought, I could have got the train into work. So yeah, that's a little fun fact. Now, another fun fact, this area used to be a loch. In fact, the housing estate on our left is called Bober Loch. We're just past the Gyle Centre, and soon we will be going into Edinburgh Gateway Station, which is also interchanged with the tram line, and it's also a great station to get off if you want to go to the Gyle Centre. It's pretty much right next to the Gyle Centre, and all you need to do is just go under the underpass, and there you are. It's a very convenient station. Now, this is basically where Edinburgh's green belt begins. Now, we are just about to come up to another disappearing station that I covered in another video. We are going to go and pass Turnhouse Station. Now, I did actually find a picture of Turnhouse Station well after I did the Turnhouse Station video, and I'll probably plop it up on screen just now. In fact, we can see the railway bridge just now as we approach Turnhouse Station. And yeah, there we go. There's Turnhouse Station. Sadly, not depicted. Well, there's not much of it on, still remaining to sort of add into the route. They do have a couple of demolished or disused platforms in Train Simulator, most notably Partick Cross, or the first Partick station on the Glasgow Suburban Line. So if you want to play Train Simulator and want to explore all railway stations, one line I can recommend with lots of disused platforms is the Glasgow Suburban Lines. So we're just going to cross over this bridge. I don't know why they have a 75-mile-an-hour limit on this bridge. Why I have to slow down here, but yeah. Now we're just going to go through the nice countryside. I'm sorry I don't have that much to say about this sort of stretch of countryside here, because up until we get to the curve, there's not much to talk about, which the curve is actually coming up just about in 0.65 of a mile or a kilometre. I don't know if it's miles or kilometres in the little sort of mini-map down below, but we'll get talking about historical stuff. Okay, Okay, so we're just about to approach it. Now, we are just about to approach a curve, and on our left is a disused railway, which was the line from Kirkliston. Now, the line from Kirkliston is actually older than the line we're actually on. This is actually quite a recent development. This was built for the Forth Rail Bridge. But the line to our left was the original line to Queensferry and Kirkliston. Now, on our right is where the first Dalmeny station used to be, and the path on our, the wee sort of cycle path on our right was the route of the old line down to Queensferry and Port Edgar. So, I'm going to slow down here because we are about to go across the Forth Rail Bridge. Thankfully, this fine locomotive has incredibly good brakes, so I can slow down before I hit the 50-mile-per-hour limit. Oh, here we go. There we go. Whoa! Yes! We just hit a person. Don't worry, it wasn't a real person. This route in particular, has a couple of bugs in it, and I feel that developers should have looked into, like passengers walking over the railway line, floating above the railway line at platform level. So we're now on the Forth Railway Bridge, which everyone knows and loves. This, by the way, was the site of the first ever, well, this is the probable site of the Roman armies crossing up into the land of the Picts, way back in the 30s AD. Now, believe it or not, just after the Tay Bridge was built, they did start work on the Forth Rail Bridge, which is going to be a suspension bridge, a little bit like the original Forth Road Bridge. But the person who was building it was Thomas Boach, or Boach rather. And when the Tay Bridge went down, they basically dropped tools and cancelled the project. But there is in fact a little sort of concrete piece of masonry out in the Forth. That was at one point the original pillar, or what was going to become one of the piers for the first ever Forth Rail Bridge, which, believe it or not, was going to be a suspension bridge. Now we're just approaching North Queensferry. Quick thing about North Queensferry. North Queensferry did have a railway before the Forth Bridge was built, and it was down near the pier. And if you look at old maps of before the Forth Railway was bridge, or indeed after the Forth Rail Bridge was built, you can actually see the route of, you can actually see the old line. Now the tunnel that went under the hill and eventually went up to Inverkeithing has now, well, it's not been filled in, but it's been filled with styrofoam because the tunnel is quite unstable, because of course it's not been used in ages, it's not been maintained because there's no railway anymore, and I believe the entrance to the tunnel is actually being built over. I think you might be able to see some of the old tunnel. You can certainly see where the old railway used to be in North Queensferry. We're just going downhill here, it's a 1 in 70 gradient. Now here's the thing, I've played this route with many locomotives, and this sort of stretch of line between North Queensferry and Inverkeithing is brilliant for steam trains because you do not need to use the accelerator, which is great, which means you don't need to use water, and steam trains use a lot of water. So we're just going to go downhill, down to Inverkeithing. Now, as we go over this next bridge, you might be able to see it. In fact, you probably will be able to see it if I press 9 and go center player. I'll be very quick. That little line there, that was the original line. Oh, we're speeding again. That was the original line from North Queensferry up to Inverkeithing. Now, after the bridge was built and North Queensferry Station, the original one at least, didn't need to be used, as much. It eventually got repurposed for a line to Rosyth naval base, and the tracks are still there, and indeed they still lead to Rosyth naval base, but they are very, very seldom used. So we're just going to go through this tunnel, and then once we go through this tunnel, we are actually going to be able to see where we're actually going to be able to see the line leading off from Inverkeithing station. That we're just going to leave here. Oh, let me slow down here. Sugar. Sorry, I'm speeding. I'm breaking the law here. The law of the railway. Just on the right, that's the railway there. It's very rarely used, and if you've ever wondered what that line is and where it leads to, now you know. Now you know it leads down to Rosyth naval base. Now we're just going through Inverkeithing just now. Actually one of my favourite stations. And we're just going to go and we're going to hopefully turn off toward Dalgety Bay. And we're just going to wait for the 50-mile-an-hour limit. Let's get going. 50-mile-an-hour limit. Oh, we sped a little bit, but reached it in time. Anyway, 50-mile-an-hour limit. We are now officially, well, we've been in Fife for a bit now. We are now officially back in Fife. Even though we've been in Fife for a while. Sorry about that. I've got no script here. I'm too concentrated. I'm a bit concentrated on driving the train. This is Dalgety Bay Station, which was a later addition to the line. I actually had a quick look at the area where Dalgety Bay Station is now, and apparently there was a village on there. I think it was called Hillwood or Hillhead. I think it was Hillwood. I'll probably put a little image to the map up on the corner of the screen somewhere for you to have a quick look. Now, this is a little stretch from Inverkeithing to Aberdour. And I'll go into a little bit of, and I'll just point out Aberdour Station in a couple of minutes. Here we go. This is Dalgety Bay Station. Let's toot our horn. There we go. No. Zoom. No floating people walking over the track this time, so that's good to know. It's always a little bit of scary thing. I remember when I played this in stream on my Discord channel. Yes, I've got a Discord channel. It's unrelated to History Loviana, so I'm not going to publish it here. But I streamed the game when I first got this new PC on my Discord. And we had a little incident like we had back at Dalmeny. And I think everyone watching that wee stream, all simultaneously, or almost simultaneously, because there was a little bit of lag, screamed. And it was quite a scary experience. So, here we go. We're just going to go over this hill, and soon we will be able to go through Aberdour Station. There we go. We're approaching Aberdour Station, and we're also approaching a hill, meaning I can lay off the throttle for a bit. And I'm also going to slow down to 50 miles an hour, but that's a whole different story. Accelerate just there. So we're on a nice little level bit, so I'm going to start talking Aberdour Station. Aberdour Station is one of my favourite little stations. I believe it was one of the original stations on the line, and it is a very, very pretty station. It's a lovely station to go if it's nice and warm. Well, you can't exactly go now. I don't know what the situation is in 2021 when this video is going to be released, but Aberdour Station is a lovely station to go in the summer. If you've got children, or if you've not got children, go on a nice warm sunny day, go to the beach, go to the castle. It's all very lovely. There's not really that much I can say historically, because really I haven't really looked too much into Aberdour Station. But if you ever go to Aberdour Station, chances are they will have their little station garden. And I believe the station's actually won awards for its little station garden. And it is a very, very pretty station garden. I believe at one point it did actually have Aberdour spelled out in plants in a very classic railway station style. And I do wish more stations would bring that back as a sort of tradition, because, you know, I'd love to sort of go into a station and see the station's name spelled out in a rockery or in plants. And here we are. This is Aberdour Station. One of the prettiest little stations ever. And I believe on our right now, on our that wasn't the castle. I was just about to say that might have been Aberdour Castle, but I don't think it was. By the way, if you ever get the chance, go visit Aberdour Castle. It's right next to the railway station, and you can go have a look. It's got a wee cafe, or if you don't want to go to the cafe in there, there's a wee bakery just down the road from the station. So let's continue along our way. I believe the next stop is Burnt Island. Now, Burnt Island Station is quite interesting, and we'll start going into Burnt Island Station just a little bit. But it's between Burnt Island and Aberdour Station. Now, apparently there was a little sort of tramway. I'm going to put a little image up of the wee tramway for everyone to have a look at, just up on the corner there. And I don't know what the tramway is for. I believe it was for getting things to and from the pier at bottom, maybe. But yeah. But anyway, we are just about to approach Burnt Island Station. Now today, Burnt Island isn't exactly the nicest station to go to. I've been there a couple of times. I didn't particularly like Burnt Island. I assume that, you know, on a nice sunnier day, it's much nicer to go to. And it was once a sort of resort. People used to go across from Edinburgh to visit this, Burnt Island. It became a bit of a resort town. I believe they still hold fun fairs during the summer. But interesting enough, we're being told to stand by here. Ah, yes, these slow us down. Anyway, as I was about to say, Burnt Island has one very interesting thing. It used to be the place where you got the ferry from Edinburgh if you wanted to go to Fife. And you can actually see this on old maps. Burnt Island once had not one, not two, but 4 platforms. That's right, it used to be a 4-platform station. The first 2 platforms were the through line, which we're on now, and the second 2 platforms were the line next to the pier, where people could get off from Granton Station, which is a district stations video that I'm going to have to probably make in the future, to get on the line heading up north to Fife, Dundee, Aberdeen, you know, and I presume also the Highlands. But yeah, we're just about to go through Burnt Island just now. Very industrial place. Still looks very sort of like post-industrial. And here we are, and this is Burnt Island Station. Welcome to Burnt Island Station. Now, I haven't really got much really to say about it because it's not exactly one of my favourite stations, but hey ho, that's just me. And I believe that we sort of gap in the line now, I assume that was the way trains used to go down into the docks to basically meet the ferry. So we're just going to go along here, along Burnt Island. Now, next stop is going to be Kinghorn. Now, Kinghorn is famous for a very interesting and infamous reason. It was I believe it was the presumed site where Alexander III, whilst riding up the coast through a storm, fell off his horse and fell off a cliff and died, and that was the first event leading to the Scottish Wars of Independence. You know, William Wallace and all that. But there's also quite an interesting thing about Kinghorn. I'm going to talk about it just after we get to the tunnel, because it's a rather interesting little thing. Actually, no, I'll talk about it just now. Kinghorn Station, there used to be a little sort of junction off the line, a little spur, and I presume it was a mineral railway that seemed to go just off the main line from Kinghorn Station, and sort of went a long way. There's a very enigmatic little spur, and I'll just put a very quick little map picture of it if you want to have a look. It's a rather interesting little thing, but we're just about to go through Kinghorn Station. We have to slow down to 30 miles per hour because, you know, we have to obey the speed limits, even virtually. We can't go too fast unless we want to derail, and this becomes a fail compilation for driving train simulator trains. So we're just about to go into Kinghorn Tunnel just now. Probably very familiar with this tunnel if you ever go to Kinghorn. I think I'll turn on the lights, see if we can... There we go, turn on the lights. We're going to be heading up to 50 miles an hour soon. And we are just about to approach, Kinghorn Station. Now, I'll point out just about where this spur popped off the main line, because it's a very enigmatic little thing. I don't know what it was there for. I believe it was a mineral railway, and if it was a very unusual mineral railway, because it popped off and then went through a little tunnel, so it must have been a very expensive mineral railway, so it must have been a very lucrative mine. But if we just continue along here, just after the end of the platform, just about here, was the wee junction onto that little mineral railway. I don't know what mineral railway was for. I think it led to a mine, probably, but after that point it entered into a little tunnel, and so it must have been a very expensive mineral railway. Well, because mineral railways, they tend to be quite lightweight things. So we're along the lovely bit of the Fife line just now. Not that Fife isn't inherently lovely, but as we head along the Fife line, eventually we are going to enter into the environs of Kirkcaldy Station, or Kirkcaldy Town rather. Now, Kirkcaldy is quite an interesting railway history I'm going to get into quite soon, but I believe it was around about here. I might be wrong. We put up a wee map of whereabout I'm talking about. Just off here, there was another little spur, and I believe it was a mineral railway that went off to our left, going up toward Cow and Beef. So, if that little mineral railway was kept around, maybe, just maybe, you might have had a little shortcut up to Cow and Beef. So you wouldn't need to go round Glenrothes or Fortin and Glenrothes, Fortin and Lochgelly and Carden Den. Not that we're going to be going round that area on this video. Now we're just approaching not Haymarket Station, I nearly called it Haymarket Station, Kirkcaldy Station, which in itself is quite a substantial station. It's been a while since I've actually been to Kirkcaldy. I used to go up the Fife and go to Kirkcaldy quite a lot because it was a change of scenery and it had different shops and sort of different atmosphere. I used to just go to Kirkcaldy and just walk around. And I'm probably going to have to slow down here because there's a 65-mile-an-hour limit coming up. Now, Kirkcaldy's main industry, believe it or not, was lino. Sorry, I can't pronounce the full name of lino, but yes, Kirkcaldy was once a big centre of lino, and the area around Kirkcaldy Station was actually quite packed full of industry. Alongside it being a passenger station, obviously was a centre for freight for goods trains and the lino industry. So we're just going to go for Kirkcaldy Station. I do like Kirkcaldy Station's building. It has that sort of early mid-90s charm about it. I know that sounds weird, but it's sort of like it's sort of like a proto version of sort of modern architecture we have today. So anyway, we are going through Kirkcaldy, and I believe, is it here that the station is? Yes! Kirkcaldy actually had, or maybe it's the next one. Anyway, Kirkcaldy, believe it or not, had 2 more stations that existed right up into the 1960s. And I don't know if we passed the first one, but the first one, I believe we're going to pass quite soon, was Sinclair Town Station. Now, I don't know where Sinclair Town Station... well, I know where it is on a map, but I believe we're approaching Sinclair Town Station just now. So if we can just... I'll just point it out to you as we approach the... as we actually approach the bridge. I think it's along here. I hope it's along here. Not that. I believe it. Yeah, here we are. Up here, there was once a railway station. That's right. This was Sinclair Town Railway Station. Now, sadly, I can't actually get to Sinclair Town physically, but I've just done it virtually. So maybe once this whole pandemic thing has died down, or and we can all go out and go to Fife again, maybe I'll make a trip up to Kirkcaldy and do a Disappearing Stations video about Sinclair Town. Now the next station we're going to be doing, or next station I'm going to point out to you, is Dysart Station. Now Dysart Station, I'm just trying to think where about Dysart Station would be, because both the stations are marked out by an overbridge, so I'm just going to have to keep a keen eye out for our next little overbridge, and I don't know if we've just passed it or if we are just about to approach it. Is it here? I don't know where it's somewhere along here. I probably should have put a reminder here. Oh, here we are. We are just about to approach what looks to be an overbridge. Now, I don't know if it's the exact location of oh wait, no, here we are, Dysart. I can see the overbridge there. Not this overbridge, but next overbridge was the site of a railway station. So we're just about to approach Dysart Station. Just to say, I will be putting in what 3 words locations for each of the stations, but here we go. This was once the site of Dysart Station. Now, it's along here, eventually, that we are going to be seeing a new railway line, or not a new railway line, but an old railway line being reopened. I don't know where the junction is going to be, but the tracks are already laid, or tracks are being relayed because they didn't actually tear up the original tracks of the line down to Leven. So maybe with the line to Leven, maybe we will see Sinclair Town and Dysart get reopened. So you never know, but I'm not going to hold my breath. So we're approaching a 20-mile-an-hour limit to Glenrothes with Fortin. Believe it or not, Glenrothes with Fortin is another sort of new addition to the rail network. I believe it's the same vintage as South Kyle, actually. Originally, Fortin, originally Glenrothes did not have a station. Of course, Glenrothes was a new town, but Fortin did at Fortin Junction, which was just beyond the junction to our, straight ahead. It was just north of where the line heading down from Dundee used to turn off and go to the line toward Dunfermline. But right now we are going to go along a little curve here, and we are going to enter into Glenrothes with Fortin Station. Now, believe it or not, Glenrothes Fortin has a rather interesting little setup going on. Glenrothes Fortin Station actually has, it has two platforms, but unlike most railways, stations with two platforms, one isn't an up platform and one isn't a down platform. They're both sort of single line platforms. This is because the lines coming in from Dundee and the lines coming in from Edinburgh don't actually sort of cross over when they bump into each other just about here. So rarely you do actually get trains going up to Markinch via Dunfermline or Dundee via Dunfermline and all that sort of stuff. But for the most part, the platform that is used at Glenrothes with Fortin Station is Glenrothes with Fortin Platform 1. So we're just about approaching Glenrothes with Fortin. I thought we were going to get a buzz there from the AWS, but we didn't, so that's okay. We're just going to crawl at the 20-mile-an-hour limit down to the platform, and we will end this video. There we go. So, thank you all for watching this little rail tour of the Fife line. I know it's a little different. I know it's a little unscripted. I didn't actually have a script with me because I was too busy driving and talking to you, so forgive me if everything's a little bit higgledy-piggledy and I didn't point out stations at the right place and all that sort of stuff. But I hope you enjoyed this video nonetheless. It's very different, and it's been done mainly because of the season and the fact that I can't really go out right now, and the fact that I have the capability to do a little rail tour. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you next week. Goodbye.